Could you come up? Henrietta Holder. I've known Henrietta for years. She has always been an inspiration to me. I remember when she first started this, she talked to me about it. And she said she wasn't sure, but she felt like this would be her life path. And this was something she needed to do. And Henrietta is the glue of the community in a lot of ways. She inspires. You just look at her and she has that smile that she has. And she's sincere in everything she communicates, but most of all, she wants to help people. And anybody you talk to says the same thing. She's a wonderful, wonderful person. And I'm so honored that we get to honor her for this award. Higher Ground International helps with refugees from West Africa, but also all over. And they also build community in West Africa through pumps and wells that provide clean water. And I was reading that if you build a well, you save up to 1,600 people a year from dying. That's how desperate they are over there. So I want to congratulate Henrietta on her work. The Red Bandana Award of 2018 is presented to Henrietta Holder for her untiring work connecting the needs of immigrants and the disadvantaged in Providence, and with the daily struggles of people in her native Liberia. And Henrietta is the living embodiment of thinking globally and acting locally. Her vision, persistence, and compassion serve as a model of how to live in the world and remind us that one person's spirit can change the lives of many. Henrietta Holder.
Thank you. Thanks, Steve. Thank you to, let me put this down for a minute. Thank you to the committee, the board, to everyone who deemed me worthy to receive this award. I remember when I got the call from Steve, I was at work, and he called me and he said to me, "Are you busy?" And I'm saying, "Yes." He said, "Of course, you always are." He said, "But do you have a minute to talk?" And of course I did for him. And he said to me that you have been nominated to receive the Red Bandana Award, and would you accept it? And I was shocked. I was honored, I was taken aback, and I was grateful. And I said to him, indeed I would. And so I accepted the award, but not knowing anything about Richard. I did not Google him, because I wanted to hear from somebody who really knew the essence of this man and this award, this honor that is being bestowed upon me in his name. And so yesterday, there I was at the NAACP award, and I was sitting there, and who was seated beside me was Eileen Hayes from Amos House. And she congratulated me. She said, "I'm so proud of you, congratulations, you're receiving the award tomorrow." And I said, "But I don't know him. Do you know Richard?" And she said, "Yes." And she proceeded to tell me about him. Told me about Richard actually helping to found Amos House. and how he worked and he volunteered with the organization. And he was this professor. He was a journalist. And she gave me a background about him. And then she told me, she said, he used to volunteer at the homeless shelter for men. And he would come, and he would be downstairs, and the men would be upstairs smoking weed, and he wouldn't know anything about it. Until finally she said to him, we love you dearly, but we don't want you volunteering at the shelter anymore. You can do something else. But when she told me about him, she brought him to life. And I saw the essence of this human being who really cared deeply about people, who really cared about that idea of equity and compassion and empathy. And then I went and I Googled him. And I read from Herb Wise, right up about him in 2013 when he passed away. And Herb told a story of him, of all the work that he did working in Africa with the UN, you know, as a journalist and working just here to make sure that everybody had a chance. And I felt confident to say, okay, I humbly do accept the award. On March 4th of this year, I read an article from Pope Francis. And in Yemen, there were 4 nuns that were attacked, and these women were killed. They were missionaries of the charities of Mother Teresa. These women were killed, and what the Pope said was that there were no headlines, right? Their names were not in the newspaper. Nobody talked about these women who were in Yemen but were sacrificing their lives, and they were working to support elderly people in that country. They were massacred, but there were no headlines about them. And he talked about the globalization of indifference. We have become a community, a world of people who really doesn't see the other. What affects one, that's not my problem, as long as it doesn't affect me. This year, May 7th, made it 10 years since I started Higher Ground International. I'm originally from Liberia, West Africa. My home country had experienced decades of civil war. And I felt hopeless and helpless, watching from afar my family living as refugees, people dying, being killed, and the trauma of war. And I couldn't be part of that community of indifference. I had to step up, and I had to do something. And so Higher Ground came to life. And it's 10 years that I do the work for this organization, that I see it growing, that I see the need every day. We have this idea that, you know, the war ended a long time ago. We need to forget and we need to move on. But it's not. It doesn't serve anyone well for us to just move on when we have people who are still dealing with the day-to-day trauma of war. And so we're doing the work without nothing. I still have yet to be paid. We need staff. We need to build a board, and we need everybody to understand that this work is necessary to achieve this level of humanity and dignity that we need for everybody. So Linda, I extend my congratulations to you. I'm very honored to stand beside you to receive this award. Our work and the work that the Gun Violence Coalition does has a direct correlation. And we're all in this together. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for this award. I appreciate it.